Talk Art. I am Amy Rashevsky, and I am the talk host and also an artist. And I'd like to welcome all my new guests today that are joining in for the first time, and I'm very pleased to have you. I'd like to share a little story, but before I do, I'd like to mention the reason that I got to the story. So think of how many times you're listening to you're having a conversation with someone and you're listening intently, and all of a sudden a keyword pops into your head from that conversation. And it's dormant in that brain of yours until somebody opens it up. So I know everybody's probably felt that before. So that's where I got my idea from, and that's what my guest did for me today. So those of you who have seen my shows before know that I have mentioned that I'm from Canada. Well, actually, I'm not from Canada. I lived in Canada for the last 18 years part-time. The rest of the time, I've been in Florida. And Canada's where I really started to paint. For some reason, I just jumped into it with wet feet and continued on my path, teaching myself how to create different artwork in different mediums, and really enjoying my newfound interest. So during the course of time, for some reason, living there, I've met so many different people over the years, and I've done so many paintings because I just kept going. So I had a lot of work, and I would give away a lot of work, sometimes to people that have come to visit my studio, and I knew that they really couldn't afford something. And so I would just be really thrilled to give them a piece of my work, knowing that they probably never had original work in their house before. So during the course of time living there, one day my girlfriend, who is an interior designer, had mentioned to me that she was decorating an apartment for a young lady who was going off to college for the first time in Montreal. And sadly, her mother was dying at the same time. So I just jumped in and I offered to decorate the entire apartment and donate my art to this young lady. And boy, did that lift spirits of everybody. And you know, it just feels so good. And this show today is about giving, and it's just something that I enjoy more than anything else, is making somebody else smile. So I also wanted to mention that this show that I do every week is really about giving. It gives me an opportunity to help someone advance in their own careers and express themselves on my show, and then they have something to look back on. So I just wanted to talk about a little bit of that, and how that keyword just popped into my head, and it reminds me of that story that I hold dear to my heart about giving art to people in need, and also to make them feel better about themselves. So I'm going to take a commercial right now because we have two special guests, and we have Guy Stanley Philoche. I was going to do it, Philoche. There we go, I got it. And he will be on right after the commercial, and we'll see why my story has something to do with our chat today. So I'll be right back.
OMG Flower Boutique is a family-owned and operated business. We specialize in custom arrangements for any and all occasions, big or small events including weddings, birthdays, dinner parties, bar mitzvahs, etc., while offering the best prices and highest quality flowers to our customers. We offer online ordering, pickup, and delivery. For more information, go to our website omgflowerboutique.com or call us at 561-806-5818.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed the commercials. And right now, I'd like to bring on our guest speaker today, Guy. Are you behind the screens? There you are. Hey, welcome.
Hey, thank you, thank you so much for having me on your show today.
Oh, it's so nice to have you. And I wanted to tell the audience how I was introduced to you. So one day, I love looking for guests, and a lot of guests come to me. But this one day, I am watching Entertainment Tonight, and I saw your segment, and it just stopped me. And I said, oh gosh, I would really love to have you on my show, and because you just touched me in a way that it was important for me to see. And I'm so pleased to have you join me with today. I really can't express it any more than saying I'm very happy. So welcome, welcome. I know I've read a bit about you, and I know that you were born in Haiti, and that you moved to Connecticut, and then for the last 20 years or so, I think you've been in New York City. And being in New York, was that because you wanted to boost your career, or is that or what made you get to all those places? So first of all, let's work on New York. So now that you're there, and you're
Yeah, I moved to New York to pursue my art career after I got done with school. And as everyone knows, New York is the capital of the art world. So I moved out here to pursue the dream, and I moved out here with a duffel bag and a dream.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
That duffel bag and the dream really, really did a nice number for you. And I know that you've been on a lot of talk shows, and you're getting more famous every day. And this is a wonderful treat for everybody to get to know you. So when did you really know that you were an artist? I mean, did you have family in the art world? Or
No,
you
it's so
just,
funny. No, it's really funny because if you know my story, you know that all the men in my family are all amazing athletes. You
oh,
know, from
really?
my dad, yeah, from my dad to both my brothers, to my cousins, to my uncles. Everyone they were amazing athletes, and except for me, I was the only one who couldn't dribble a ball or catch a ball to save their life. Um,
So
I
you're the little
remember
Zach that moved out.
Yeah, I remember walking down the hallway in high school, and the basketball coach walks up to me, puts his arms around me, and was like, "All right, we're going to the championship this year." And I looked down, I was like, "It's not gonna be with me. You gotta wait till my brother gets in here. Where's the art department?" That's
Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, so
yeah.
that's when you realized that you were really into art. And so, what did you start with? How did you begin your career? What did you do first to know that you were?
I realized that I loved painting and drawing. As a kid, English is my second language. So as a kid, I used to wake up Saturday mornings, have a big bowl of cereal, and watch Saturday morning cartoons. And
Oh,
not just
okay.
watching the cartoons, just to learn how to speak the language, but also too, I would also copy what I saw on TV. Yeah, and I realized like, wow, I could really, duplicate what I see. But it wasn't until I went to the museums for a class trip when I saw all the masterpieces of Picasso's and Monet's and Van Gogh's and everything, and realized like, wow, this is what I really want to do. So that was like my big aha moment, I like to call, And from there, I just realized that this is what I want to do at such an early age. And ever since then, it was just like I always tell people I have for instance, racehorses. If you're in those racehorses, they have blinders on.
Yeah.
So just imagine being that young and having blinders on and realizing that the only thing you want to do is just make art. So I just kept focused and just kept my eye on the prize.
And then every time you saw something in the art world, it triggered you even more because your mind was just so focused on doing some kind of art that, like, you draw every style in, right? So, but I noticed that we're going to show your series in a little while, so we can explain what we're talking about now as far as your childhood and how you brought your art into those images. So then why don't we do that and talk about that, and then we're going to go to one of your main reasons for why I love having you on the show also, besides your art. So let's pop up a couple of things and we can discuss that. So I think the first one, Vinny, if you want to put up there it is, the game series.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So the game series started several years ago, and a lot of my work has to do with my background and the way I grew up as a kid.
Right.
Both my parents worked, and Sunday nights were the only nights we had to sit together as a family.
Family night.
Yep. So my dad would unplug the TV, my mom would unplug the phone. We would have a nice Sunday dinner, and after dinner we would play board games. So it's me and my brother. So fast forward, 20 plus years later, both my brothers have amazing children. I have some amazing nephews. And I remember one day driving to Connecticut, spending time with my nephews, spending time with my family, and I'm sitting down with my brother, and I was just like, yeah, let's play a board game. And I did, as much as we denied wanting to be like our parents, we're still like them. So I unplugged the TV. I took everyone's cell phone, and
Right.
It was and me and my brothers and my nephew had such a great time. So on the drive back home, it just triggered all these emotions. So I was like, so that's when the game series got created.
And games are very important when you're growing up. I know I have a bunch of grandchildren out there, and we always play Monopoly and the Operation Man. I saw you had done a painting of the Operation Man and all these different games, and I love that. I love the series that you did, and I know that you have 6 series. I think we're going to show 5 today, so we're going to show one more and talk about that one. There we go. So that's Come Fly With Me.
Yep. So that's a newer series called Come Fly With Me. Again, a lot of my work is with nostalgia, the way I was growing up, and also living in New York as well. You'll see a lot of, for instance, paper airplanes in a lot of my series. And it's so funny because everyone asks me, what's up with paper airplanes? So growing up as a kid, especially in middle school, I was this weird, awkward kid. I didn't speak the language well. I was wearing glasses. I was a really weird, awkward kid. But I always had a crush on like so many girls.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I had no game whatsoever. So in order to get their attention, I would draw their portrait and say, hey, I like you. I think you're really beautiful. Do you like me? Circle yes or no. Fold it into a paper and swing it at them. And 90%
Right.
of the time it was no. But so again, it just reminds me of my childhood.
Every kid does that airplane,
Yeah,
It's just amazing
exactly.
how they do that. Yeah.
And then you'll see a lot of many butterflies, especially the $2 bill. Again, nostalgia, the way growing up as a child. So when I turned 13 years old, my dad bought me my first wallet, and inside that wallet, I had a $2 bill for a lot
Oh.
of prosperity. So that's almost like a homage to him. So that's why you'll see a lot of the $2 bills. And again, too, you'll see.
I just love your emotions that you bring out from, your artwork tells your story, which is
Yeah.
really very cool.
Yeah.
It's hard for some artists to stay on, focus on a series, but you've done it really well. So let's do another one because, go ahead.
Thank you.
Finish. Go ahead. You want to say
No, and I
something
was
else?
gonna say you'll see like on the next one you'll see like postal bills on a lot of my work too, and that's just more like a homage to New York City. If you're in New York, or you understand what postal bills means, because there's always luxury buildings being developed all over the city. So that's kind of like an homage to New York City.
Okay, Vinny. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah. So these are really great series. So when the pandemic happened, I was in my studio and I really just wanted to. Now, let me rewind, let me backtrack. When the pandemic happened, I was in New York City. And
Right.
at the time in New York City, Central Park got turned into a hospital. The Javits Center got turned into a hospital. We had
Right.
huge shit come in. That was a hospital. We had these giant freezers that were people were putting the bodies into.
Oh, yeah. So you saw it all.
yeah, so it was just nothing but death and misery,
Right,
and
right,
so I'm in my studio, and and at the time, I think so many artists were painting the same narrative, which I think is a very important work. They're painting, doctors with masks, and nurses with masks, people of color in masks, which are very important work and everything like that. But I wanted to well, I wanted people to smile. And I think the city and the people are in such a dark place,
right.
and I really wanted people to kind of smile and feel good. So I went back to again, my childhood. Waking up Saturday morning and watching cartoons,
There you
and
go. Right.
places. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got some interesting characters in there that my grandchildren would love to talk to you
Oh
about.
yeah. Garfield and Daffy Duck and Lego
Right,
Superman.
right.
And who doesn't love that? And it's so funny because people always ask me so what's the point? Explain the solid colors,
Oh, you're right.
silver line, and then the rest. And I always say it's always calm meets chaos.
Okay. Oh, perfect. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the solid color is always a solid color, and the silver line is that transition to the chaos.
Right, right. And you do layer your colors really nicely so they stand out, so there's a
Yeah,
reason for it. Very cool.
yeah, and I love textures. So if all my work is with lots of textures, sanding it down, building it back up, and blending it through.
Yeah, yeah. I love that movement. Okay, well, let's look at another one. Okay, so this is your no comment series, and I know there were a lot
Yeah.
more pictures, but I couldn't get them in.
Yes, this is my no comment series, and I think this is one of those images that was featured in Vogue last month as
Oh,
well.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so this series is really fun actually. So I painted six of these paintings, and they're called No Comment. So I would say about 10 years ago, I painted six of them, and they're about powerful women who have high profile jobs, but they feel like they can't get ahead because they're not part of that boys culture, that boys club. Okay, and the funny thing about this series is when I painted them, I was meeting these powerful lawyers, I was meeting these powerful architects,
Right.
these powerful finance people. So I would invite them to come to my studio. They would pose for me, and I would put duct tape on their mouth and paint it, and paint duct tape on their mouth and everything. So the funny thing about this series is, so when I got done, and I only did six of them, and when I got done with them, I shopped them around. I showed them to some of my collectors. I showed them to some of my museum curators that I work with. I showed them to some of my galleries,
Right.
and nobody wanted them. No, they were like, it's too controversial. We don't want to talk about this subject matter. I was just like, and I really think these are probably some of the most powerful works I've ever done.
Right. Right.
So as an artist, you have two options. You could either paint over the work because you don't want to waste the canvas, or you just wrap them up and just wait. So fast forward 10 years later, the Me Too movement happened,
Right.
and the same people who passed on them now are begging for them.
I bet.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very
As,
cool.
as an artist, I always tell people, you have to be patient because sometimes as an artist, we are ahead of the curve.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
sometimes our audience is not even born yet. So you have to be patient. And just keep painting. So yeah, and that's what I did. Now 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you would have paid $20,000 for these paintings. Now they're
Right.
selling up to $125,000.
Very nice. No complaints there. That's wonderful. Okay, I think we have one more and then we'll move on to our next story. Okay, so that's Revolution, and I know you had one I forgot the name of the one we didn't get to show today.
My Untitled series. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
so Revolution is what you're working on these days. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Again, what happened with the pandemic, and the George Floyd situation, and seeing all these people of color die by the hands of police, and seeing the uprise that people are having. I really wanted to express how I feel about what's going on, but also do it in a way that's playful, but yet significant.
Right. Has
You
a
know?
story. Right.
Yeah, so I just thought that, what's the best way of talking about revolution by having some of the most iconic characters saying it,
I love your
So, and
characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
That's so
and
perfect.
yeah, these
It
guys
says
been
a lot.
such a big hit. Yeah, these guys been such a big hit, and we're just constantly evolving. And I love the fact that I play with the word revolution, where you can see the word, revolution, but also I highlight the word love backwards.
Do you
Because,
listen to any kind of music when you're painting? I'm just curious.
I do, I really do. I just, but it's mostly noise.
Noise.
Like,
Yeah, it's just noise.
yeah. When I'm in the studio, I just go in and do the work.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
sometimes I like just quiet too, because
yeah.
you just with yourself, which is kind of nice
Well,
too.
because when you live in New York City, all I
Oh
do
yeah,
is
there's just no quiet.
there's no quiet. So I just listen. I literally open my windows and just listen to the streets of New York City.
Yeah, well, and you don't even hear it after a while. I know I've lived there many times. But so that brings us to the story about what went on in the last year and a half with COVID and the epidemic, and how you related to what was going on. And I wrote down a quote that you said, so I wanted just to say it. It was, "Dude, you need to step up to help others in the art community." And then you started reaching out on Instagram and everything. And tell me what happened after you did that, because I think that opened up many chapters.
Yeah. So after to explain that quote, we have to rewind a little bit.
Okay. Well, I was
I
hoping you would
just-
rewind.
So I just finished a sold out show at Cavalier Gallery in New York City.
Right.
I was super excited, and as a reward for myself, I wanted to buy a $20,000 Rolex watch. And at that time, that watch symbolized that I made it. I'm in the room. I have a seat at the table now, and also you need to understand that no one opened doors for me.
Right.
I was that guy who got into the room by like the back door or through the window. But fast forward 20 years later, now that I'm in the room, but not just in the room, Amy, I actually have a seat at the table now. And I realized now that we have a seat at the table, I realized, guys, there's enough room for everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
I made a promise to myself now that I have to open doors for other people. So now, finished my sold out show. I'm at the Rolex store, trying on watches, decided on which one I wanted to go buy. I go back home, and then the pandemic happened. Now, I lived in New York for 20 years, and I lived through everything. I was here since September 11th.
Right.
I was here when the financial market crashed.
Mm-hmm.
I was here when the blackout happened. I was here when the hurricane hit. And as New Yorkers, all we do is just brush our shoulder off, we put our big
move
pants
on.
We move on.
Right.
But this was something different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was in your face.
Down. Yeah, things were shutting down. And it wasn't just like, downtown, uptown. This was
Everywhere.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Everywhere. So restaurants were shutting down, galleries were shutting down, our Dazzle got canceled.
Right.
And and then that's when the panic was happening. That's when some of my friends who haven't gotten their big breaks yet started calling me and was like, "Oh, dude, things are crazy right now, blah blah." So there was this whisper in my ear. It started off as a whisper. It was literally saying, "Dude, now's not the time to buy a watch.
There you go.
Now's not the time. You have to really like step up and help your friends."
Yeah.
So the following day, I'm in my studio, and this whisper became now a yelling voice. All right, you need to step up, bro. Okay. So that's when I went to Instagram and made a call out. I introduced myself to everyone, saying, "Hi, my name is Guy Stanley Philoche. I'm an artist living in New York City. New York's been really good to me. I'm looking to buy as much art as possible." And I hit send. And once I did that, I opened up Pandora's box.
Floodgates. Yeah, really. Yeah.
So $100,000.
Wait, I forgot to
later,
put mine in there. No, I'm teasing.
You know, $100,000 later, over 250 artists and over
Wow.
300 pieces of artwork now. The Philoche collection that created.
Beautiful, really beautiful story, and the whole title of this whole thing is giving, and you're a very
Yeah.
giving individual, and you just proved it. Like, when you're young and starting out, and you know that nobody's giving you anything, and then you have that opportunity to give back. I mean, like, that is very, very cool. So.
Well, thank you. Thank
And
you so much.
I know that you are you have a partner that you're working on a project with,
Yeah.
and
It's not just about me collecting artwork from these artists, from this unknown artist.
right,
I feel like I could do more. Not just buying their artwork, but again, like I said, I have a seat at the table now. And I feel like I could do more. So I have, I met this amazing, incredible woman named Dee Dee. She has an amazing eye. She has an amazing gallery in Connecticut. She sent me this really beautiful email, and we sat down and we hit it off really well.
beautiful.
So come September, we're actually going to be doing a show, artists from the Philoche collection.
Oh, terrific,
So it's not
terrific.
just about me buying their artwork now. Now it's actually giving them a show.
Right.
So this is going to be an amazing opportunity for a lot of these artists.
Oh, for
Some of them
sure.
never,
A
some of
dream
them
come true for them. Yeah,
yeah,
really.
yeah. Some of them
Absolutely.
never
Yeah.
been shown before, never shown in the gallery. So come September, we're going to be doing an amazing show, Artists from the Local.
That's terrific. So why don't we just take a quick break, and then we're going to bring Dee Dee on, and then you can
Perfect.
introduce her with me, and let's see where it goes. So we'll be right back, okay? All right. Okay, we're back, and we're going to bring both Guy and Dee Dee on, and I hope you enjoyed the commercial. I try and change it up all the time now, so I'm having fun with that. So bring him on, please. Oh, there we are. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dee Dee.
Hey,
So
Hi, how are you?
good. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you on the show, and thank you, Guy, for inviting her to join us. So this is terrific. So I know.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So you're in Connecticut and you're in New York, and doesn't matter where you are because we're all together, and I'm in Florida, so it works out really well. So thanks everybody for being here. So why don't you continue, introduce Dee Dee, you started to, and let's go a little further on what you guys are doing together.
so yeah, like I said, we met. We had an amazing conversation. We have the same values when it comes to art and art collecting and artists. And we just came up with this really good idea where like it's not just about me buying art anymore. It's about me taking it to the next
Next
level.
level, right?
Yeah, and then let's give these artists a show. Some of these artists never shown before, and she loved the idea, and she's offering up her beautiful gallery and her beautiful space in Connecticut, and we're having this amazing show in September, and I'm going to let Dee Dee take it over and explain a bit more and see what she does.
Okay, Dee Dee, where are you in Connecticut?
I'm in Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Okay, so if you want to mention your gallery, I would love to hear, with the call, your name and all that stuff, so everybody can know who's in Connecticut, because I do have a lot of friends up there.
Wonderful. Yes, Art Pack Gallery is it's a collective of artists who we found that wanted to really expand their careers. They were working, showing artists, but never had really had the opportunity to have a home gallery and have all the advantages of an art dealer to work with. So we started a studio space in conjunction with having a gallery where they can show. We really take care of the 360 view of the artist, from helping them create, giving them, I look at their collections, I help guide them, and then we have this beautiful gallery where they get to sell their art. So in that way, Guy and I really matched missions in that
Yeah, for sure.
it's really all about the opportunity for the artist, that it's very difficult to get. I mean, Guy can tell you, and I can tell you because I'm an artist myself.
I can tell you,
know,
too.
going out
Right.
and actually getting noticed and having
yeah.
a place to show your work is probably one of the big unknowns. How do you do that? How do you get there? And that is where Guy and I really aligned, and that's why we decided to open up our gallery in Ridgefield, Connecticut to his artists and really show off some of their work, because he's, again, found some really talented individuals.
Yes,
We're really
'cause-
excited to have
Yeah,
him here
because he told me
December.
that if he loves the work, that's all that counts, and that's what makes it so important, is loving that piece and then moving it on. But for a gallery owner, I mean, to take that next step, which you're doing, is unheard of, really, because you could put your stuff up on a wall in a gallery and it just sits there. But it sounds to me like you take that person and sort of mold them into what they probably could be or are, and then so that's a real gift, because I mean, I understand that 100%. So that's pretty cool.
And we really work on marketing for the artist, and really help bring opportunities to them. And Guy actually was one of those opportunities. And he
Right.
was, really gracious to our artists. He actually loved a couple of the pieces that we had and added a few of our artists to his collection. So it was really a wonderful opportunity, and I strive to find those opportunities
Right.
for the artist and really promote them in the best way that we can.
Right, and it makes you feel good too, I'm sure. So the two of you are on the road, I guess, with this new project. So
we're super excited about it. We have a whole campaign put in place for it. Dee is actually starting to represent some of the artists for the Philoche collection, which is
nice. Yeah, that's
amazing.
positive all the way around. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Which is like absolutely amazing, because again, no one's ever opened doors for me, and the fact that I have opportunity to open doors for some of these artists,
I know.
and now they're actually saying they're represented by a gallery is huge.
Right.
Yeah. Again,
big time.
Taking the work, it's taking the work totally from selling it 300 bucks to thousands of dollars. But not just that, it's also too, it's giving them the confidence that they need, that you also need, as an artist, you need that third party validation.
Of course, because otherwise you're not motivated to move on.
Exactly.
Right. And keep in mind that we have so many great artists now, between the Philoche artists that are introduced through Guy and our artists, that we're actually looking to open up a second location in Connecticut. So right now we're looking for the perfect spot, and we're hoping by the end of the year to have a second location.
Well, I think timing's really there now. People are coming out of their little shells, and they've spent a lot of time in their homes, and that's where a lot of art started to sell too, because people say, "Oh, I need something in there. What's wrong with this room?"
That's a great thing. And that's the great thing about Julie. She just doesn't have a great eye for artists. She's helping people build their collection. One thing, art's not only for the rich and the elite. Art's for everybody.
That's how I feel. Right.
Yeah, and it's true. And Julie has the opportunity in the eye and the time where you go reach, you can contact her and say, "Hey, listen, I love art. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't know what to buy." And she'll sit down with you and help you build, your collection.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Really. Yeah. So where'd you tell me your first project was going to be now? In the first event
at the Art
September?
Gallery. Yep, in September.
Oh, okay, in your gallery, in the
Yes,
art pack.
correct.
Art pack. Okay. And
Yeah, and that's in Bridgeville, Connecticut, September 16th from 6 to 9. It's going to be an amazing show.
can you
Yeah.
do it virtually too, so people can see the work?
Oh, we'll have
I just had to
pictures.
throw that out because it's such a
Yes,
new world out there.
we'll have pictures. There's gonna be tons of press. There's gonna be some celebrities there. It's gonna be a big hoo-ha.
Good, good, good. I wish I was there.
Absolutely.
that, that'll be
Keep in
fun.
mind, we always do a virtual gallery, so
Oh,
you
okay.
can see anything within the gallery
Right.
through our website and on a virtual gallery.
Yes, it makes a big difference, really does. You know, we've got some great tools now. So,
Yep.
so I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on the show, and it's just kind of rewarding to see people giving. And as I told you earlier, that's one of my favorite things to do. So I love to give to charities and do all that stuff. So I'm so pleased to tell your stories, and I really appreciate you being here. So I'm going to talk about my guests for next week. You can listen for sure, but I have Pazit Perez on next week, and she's talking about I Have a Dream, and we're going to talk about everything that artists sort of dream about. And you guys are proven to me that there's dreams out there that are possible. So I really appreciate, again, thank you so much for being on the show, and I look forward to being in touch with you guys, and great success. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks
Thank
for the
you
interview.
so much.
All right, bye. Thank you. Oh, so am I still on? Oh, I am. Hi there, guys. Okay, so while I have you focused here, I just wanted to mention that you can go on to The Art of Amy Reshevsky on Gmail, and you can send me a message if you'd like to be on the show. And we are going to be doing a few more shows live, and then we're going to go off and do some virtual shows for a few months, and then we'll be back at the studio. But thanks for joining in today, and I look forward to everybody next week. So bye-bye. Have an artful day.